What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday. Welcome back to the show. We've got a really good one for you today. I want to talk about the possibility of Lando Calrissian being in episode 9. I also want to cover if Luke Skywalker will be in episode 9, so we'll get into all of that. I want to go over the Chris Hardwick story. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'll fill you in, kind of give you my thoughts about that. We are going over all of that right now. This is the Nerdy News Rundown, your daily dose for nerdy news. Let's get you filled in. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I am, of course, your host, Josh. And, hey, do you remember yesterday's episode? Here's a clip from it. Yeah, there was no episode yesterday. My bad on that one. I actually meant to do a post. In fact, I thought I actually did the post telling everybody what was going on. But my apologies. We are, of course, back today. But if you don't know, there's a lot of cool stuff going on behind the scenes for the Den of Nerds. I had an awesome meeting last night with a bunch of new people that are coming on board for the Den. We're going to be doing a lot of content, a lot of new shows together. So stay tuned. Really cool stuff coming your way. That is why there was no show yesterday. Once again, I apologize. You didn't think just because I had a long-winded apology, I wasn't going to drink some coffee on camera for you. Did you? I'm going to hit him with the pinky up today. All right, let's get right into the first story. This all has to do with episode 9. A lot of pressure on this film, a lot of anticipation, and Disney is supposedly bringing back a few legacy characters for this movie. The rumor, and I don't know if you heard about this, it was all over the internet yesterday, but the rumor out there is that Billy Dee Williams will be reprising his role as Lando Calrissian for the final film in this sequel trilogy. Now, all of this has to do with Billy Dee being at a Comic-Con, and he was mentioning that he is now on a new workout regimen. He's working out with a personal trainer multiple times a week, and people immediately were like, that's kind of odd for an 81-year-old actor that's not really doing any movies to our knowledge. What could this be about? And the thing that's kind of cool here and sort of solidifies that this is probably for episode 9 is that very similar things happened to Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and Mark Hamill when they had to go train to be in these new movies as well. I mean, they're a little bit older. The physicality on set, just simply being on set for 12 hours a day, it takes a lot of toll on you, especially if you're older. So all of these actors go and do their training for these types of movies. On top of that, you add the fact that all of the other actors, including the young ones like Daisy Ridley and Oscar Isaac and John Boyega, they are all beginning their training right now as well for episode 9. So the fact that he's training in a similar way to Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill, the fact that that training is happening at the same time that the younger actors are doing their training for episode 9 really gets people to think that he's going to be in episode 9. So yeah, personally, I buy it. I think that he will be in episode 9. I love the Lando character. I'm pretty pumped that he will be in there. And it sort of feels olive branchy to the fans. I mean, let's do some legacy characters. Let's give you a little bit more of that flavor you love. Here's to hoping he doesn't die on screen like all of the other legacy characters. Please, Disney, just don't kill Lando on screen. Seriously, enough is enough. But yeah, people are pretty excited as far as the role he could have. I mean, I think that he'll be messing with the Resistance, hopefully maybe even dealing with Ben Solo. I mean, if you read the Last Shot novel, Lando, or Uncle Wando, as a young Ben Solo referred to him, that was a really cool dynamic. I'd love to see him interact with Ben. That would be really cool, especially because a lot of us believe that Ben is going to be turning, or at least having that sort of an arc in episode 9. Now, the other bit of news that goes along with this is all about Mark Hamill. Now, I don't know if you've heard this news or not, but somebody asked Alexa Voice who Mark Hamill was, and reportedly the answer that Alexa gives you when you ask this question is that he is Luke Skywalker and will be reprising his role as Luke Skywalker in episode 9. Now, normally I would not give any kind of consideration to what freaking Alexa says about a movie star coming back. However, it is worth noting that when you asked Alexa about Frank Oz around the time of The Last Jedi being filmed, Alexa did tell you that he would reprise his role as Yoda in episode 8. Weird coincidence? Maybe. AI knowing everything and taking over our lives? Probably. But either way, it is worth noting that that Alexa thing is out there. People think that Mark Hamill will be back. Now, on top of that, Mark Hamill's been teasing his comeback on Twitter. He referred to episode 9 as the last paycheck. It's a pretty good one. He can be pretty hammy, but I actually like that one. It's pretty good. But yeah, the rumor out there is that he'll be back, and I just think it makes perfect sense. It's a nice olive branch to the fans. Bring Luke Skywalker back. Even if it's just a little moment here at the end of the film, he could have a moment with Rey, maybe a moment with Yoda and Rey. Either way, I think it's a no-brainer to bring Luke Skywalker back. And on top of that, I love the news about Lando coming back. The more and more I hear about episode 9, including the plot leaks, the more excited I become. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, no, episode 9, screw you. No, Disney Star Wars, it's over. And that's fine. I'm not one of those people. I'm excited for it. I love the fact that Lando will be in there, and I'm really hoping that Luke will be in there too. So that's the story out there. I want to know what all of you think about this. Lando in episode 9. What do you think he'll be doing? Do you think that, yeah, he's going to be in it? And what are your thoughts about Luke Skywalker coming back for the final chapter of the sequel saga? Whatever you're thinking, let me know in the comments section below. All right, so let's sort of change pace here and talk about the Chris Hardwick news. I thought really hard about whether or not I should even address this, and I decided I probably should, and here's why. Chris Hardwick is literally a mogul in the world of nerd culture. What he did with his podcasting empire, founding Nerdist, doing all of the different jobs and events that he does within pop culture was really truly an inspiration for me to start this thing called the Den of Nerds. In a lot of ways, I just look up to what Chris was able to do with these different companies, with his own personal brand, with, you know, the changing of media. I really have a lot of respect for the guy. Then these horrible reports come out about him being incredibly abusive to an ex-girlfriend who he then had blacklisted from their industry for several years. You probably heard about this story. She wrote a big article on Medium. She didn't actually name Chris, but people put 2 and 2 together and labeled him as an abuser. The fallout from this came pretty quick. His name has been scrubbed from the Nerdist website. Nerdist made a statement essentially disavowing him. All of his panels at San Diego Comic-Con have been pulled. AMC has pulled his Talking Dead show, and pretty much his whole career is crumbling all around him. Now, I think the first thing I should say is obviously I don't condone abuse in any way whatsoever. I mean, it's just a terrible thing. But the other side of that, and the thing I almost want to get out in the same breath, is that it's absolutely crazy that I have to make that statement. We live in a world where common sense isn't so commonplace anymore, and things are just so wildly misinterpreted online. It very much frightens me, and I see this Chris Hardwick case as an extension of some of the fears I have about how people are treated due to perception and not facts. There's investigations going on, but you have to note that Chris Hardwick has completely denied these allegations, like completely denied them. And so if they're true, like, fuck him, right? Like, that sucks, and I can't believe that he did that. And it's just one more example of some very powerful person in the entertainment business having this dark side, having this power complex that sort of extends past the job into their own life and affects other people in a super negative way. But on the complete opposite end of that, if this case is actually not true, or if she even exaggerated in a slight. But the other side of that is if she is lying in any way or exaggerating these claims to hurt him, then 1000% fuck her, like a million times fuck her. Because that's what's happening here. You have a dude being put on trial on social media, his career totally being destroyed all around him, and there's no evidence to support the accusations that she has made. So I'm really hoping that the truth comes out, and I want to know, like, the whole truth, because, you know, without getting into like speculative territory, do I think that he could have done this? Sure, people are capable of all sorts of things. I'd like to know the truth of what happened, and then be able to make my own judgment for it. And I don't know. So here's to hoping that that actually comes out there. So once again, that's the case, that's the news. my feelings on it are like, yo, it's crazy that people get tried in, social media on Twitter, and without there actually being proof, they get a lot taken away from them. At the same time, it is great that technology and the sharing that we have now with that technology allows for things that wouldn't have been uncovered prior to this technology coming to light. So we're in this weird phase of like awesome stuff happening, but also kind of really whack side effects from that awesome stuff happening. So I hope it just all gets cleared up and we can know what actually happened and make our own judgments about it. Now, that being said, I definitely want to know what all of you are thinking. This is a case that has a lot of people talking. I mean, the Twitter feed when Nerdist made that post was very interesting to me. So I want to open this up to all of you. What do you think about this case? What do you think about Chris Hardwick in general? And I mean, just in general, your thoughts about the state of media, the Me Too movement, whatever's on your mind with regards to this case, let me know in the comments section below. You can click below to watch more dope videos. You can click our icon to subscribe to get all of our future content. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you actually in a dope Avengers 4 video that I have coming out later today.